Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced from alexmerced.com, and in this video I want to talk about what is exploitation. Now if you look in the dictionary, there's really two definitions of exploitation. Basically treating someone unfairly, or two, making use of resources that are available to you, which that's a very unfortunate two definitions, because they're two very different things. So if I sit there and I have a lawnmower and I take advantage of that lawnmower in order to make income by offering people to mow their lawns, that's me exploiting the lawnmower, but I'm not treating the lawnmower unfairly. And then again, the whole word fair is a very complicated term, because oftentimes people think that they know what's fair or what should be fair, but oftentimes most people use fair in reference to what do they prefer. So if you make arrangements, if you work with people in a way that I like, you're doing it fairly. If you're doing it in a way that I don't like, then it's not fair. And that everyone's views on things are different, and people are diverse in their ideologies and perspectives, and because of that, fairness differs quite a bit from person to person. So I always hate using fair as some sort of benchmark for whether something is good or bad, because it's too discretionary, it's too wiggly, soft, fuzzy, makes it hard to resolve anything. But the reason I bring this up specifically is when you talk to people who are, really, really far to the left, like borderline Marxist or outright Marxist, they use that term a lot, okay? And they basically use that term for any time that someone is working and they're not getting all the money from their work, in a sense, okay? Because basically they believe in what's called the labor theory of value, or basically, what is something worth? It was worth the amount of time that people labored to make it. Problem with this theory is that if I paid someone, or let's say someone works 3 hours to build a device that does absolutely nothing that no one wants, are they entitled to pay, whatever you objectively think 3 hours of work is worth? Apparently, because again, there's apparently some objective value of that based on this theory. No, people don't want it. They won't buy it, and then you shouldn't be able to force them to buy it. But when you think of the labor theory of value, it kind of implies that that's what that thing should be priced at. Regardless of what it is, it should be priced based on the amount of work that went into it by people, ignoring all other inputs. So basically, when you look at it like that, then basically, if the only thing if the value of whatever I can sell it for is a result of the work that was put into it, then me not giving that to the workers is exploitation, because I'm taking something that should be theirs because it was their work that created it. That's the way they look at it. But there's a lot more to it. Let's say we're talking about creating a bag of pretzels. Okay? Someone had to come up with the idea. Okay? Someone had to raise capital in order to go build out a factory and then the thing is, and hire people. And then those people got paid as they made these. So these things weren't even sold yet when the workers were paid. So the workers didn't necessarily take the risk that the entrepreneur made, okay, who went out, raised capital from investors, put it, the project works. So at this point, the investors may be making some of their money back if they loaned it out. They may not have if they decide to become equity investors. So then they're entrepreneurs themselves. And at the same time, labor's already gotten paid. But so they don't make money unless this is sold, okay? So those profits represent, the time they waited, okay? There's a value in the time that you wait, in the idea that you came up with, and managing that project. But all that's ignored in the labor theory of value. Labor theory of value is purely like, okay, we don't care about that machine. So in this case, let's say someone used my lawnmower to go mow other people's lawns, and they got paid $5 for every lawn that they mowed. Based on the labor theory of value, I should get nothing in return for my lawnmower. Instead, the person who's using my lawnmower, they deserve those $5. So if I said, okay, give me $1 for every $5 that you make, I'm exploiting them. because I'm saying, well, because otherwise I'd be withholding my access to my lawnmower and preventing them from the ability to make income. Okay, it's kind of stupid because they're not entitled to me having to go buy a lawnmower and provide it to them, in a sense. So when something gets sold at the end, who deserves what is based on the negotiations that you make with the different people. Okay, labor, they can negotiate with capital. They can negotiate with the management. All these, everybody in the thing is that if they don't feel like they're getting what they're worth, they have the choice to not do what they're doing. They have the choice to not invest. They have choice to not be a manager, choice to not be a worker, to not be an entrepreneur. If people choose to do that, then they value it. They feel like they're getting enough value versus whatever their alternative is. And if their alternative sucks, that's reality. Okay, and that's where a lot of the left gets lost into. They're imagining, well, things would be better if they got paid more. Well, yeah, but most likelihood they're not going to be making as much as they're making now if they weren't making what they're making now. So, for example, in a lot of, like, let's say, when they try to impose like sort of wage controls or sweatshop controls and other things, like oftentimes people working in those sweatshops, that is a lot better than the life that was available before. And if you take that away, the alternative is to go back to the abject poverty that was before. But then people are like, well, that's worth it because we're ending that exploitation. It's the best for them. It's not the best for them if they're worse off. If they're poor, they're back to even more abject poverty. Okay? And these companies don't necessarily always have the resources to pay more. That gets a little bit more complicated. But the point is, like, the term exploitation, the labor theory of value, just really loses sight because it's just so much wants to justify taking stuff from people who seem like they have it to give to people who seem like they don't. When, things get really complicated when you really start looking under the hood. Yeah, so I just kind of wanted to talk about that for a little bit. So, exploitation, labor theory of value. Hopefully you found this interesting. My name is Alex Merced from alexmerced.com. If you enjoyed this video, please share it, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the Facebook page, all that fun stuff. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day and enjoy.